This capital by the bay is a convergence of culture and trends of its people and geography. Here, visitors can find every corner of Peru represented in some form or another. Located in the country's arid Pacific coast, it's made up of 43 districts and is a bustling city that's home to more than 10 million people. It was founded by Francisco Pizarro in 1535, but indigenous population has settled in the area around it for thousands of years. Even with the recent protests, in the 21st century, Lima has relatively enjoyed a prolonged period of political and economic stability. This metropolis is filled with both colonial-era architecture and modern-day skyscrapers. Numerous museums, galleries, and historical landmarks are scattered throughout the city. Lima is the gateway to Peru, and most likely will be your first destination before heading anywhere else in the country. Upon landing in Lima, one thing that's surprising is how reddish-brown the entire landscape is. While researching and seeing many photos of Lima, it's another thing to experience it firsthand. Being an international city, visitors won't find communication in English difficult. There are a plethora of things to do in Lima, from relaxing at the beach to visiting historic sites, museums, galleries, restaurants, and the buzzing nightlife. This metropolis is not only an international city, but a melting pot with a long history of migration from all parts of the world, including Asia, Europe, and Africa. Not to mention the internal migration of the many indigenous people within Peru. When it comes to food, this translates to a diverse and rich culinary culture. Peru is in the midst of a gastronomic boom, and Lima is the epicenter, filled with a variety of delectable cuisine. What this city is known for is its delicious seafood, so make sure to try their seafood option in the menu. But whatever you're in the mood for, Lima has got your taste buds covered. One of the first places I recommend visiting is Costa Verde. This stretch of road is both a highway and a scenic walkway that stretches from Cayo to Chorrillos. Located on top of the cliffside overlooking the Pacific are the districts of Miraflores and Barranco. Miraflores is a residential and upscale shopping district. Here, visitors will find the luxuries of a modern city. This location is lively and more centralized to the action, but does have areas where it's quiet and mellow. Wandering through Miraflores, one can encounter families hanging out at the park and along the coastline. It's quite a safe place both day and night. There's also a shopping center located right on the edge of the cliff. This coastline neighborhood reminds me a lot of San Francisco in the Bay Area, with its mellow vibe, rolling fog, misty atmosphere, and overall comfortable weather, though it is much cleaner than San Francisco. If you only have a limited time in Lima, this is the place I recommend visiting. The neighborhoods of Miraflores, Barranco, and San Miguel have access to the coastline walkway. Some of the things to do in Miraflores are walk along Costa Verde, go to the beach, surf, go fishing, bike ride, paragliding, shopping, visit local markets, and taste the countless cafes and restaurants available. Next door to Miraflores is the district of Barranco. This place has an artistic vibe with murals scattered throughout the district, and is home to many of Peru's leading artists, musicians, designers, and photographers. It's also known to have many cafes and bakeries throughout the district. While it neighbors Miraflores, Barranco is a lot quieter and more relaxed. Overall, Barranco is quite safe, especially towards the coast, but does have certain areas that warrants more caution when wandering, though I never felt unsafe wherever I walked. This region has two distinct seasons, which are summer and winter, with transitional periods in between. Winter runs from June to October, and summer from January to March. The best time to visit is between December and April, with temperatures that go as high as 80 degrees, though it does get humid. With a city located in high desert, it never gets proper rain, but rather experiences drizzle. When it comes to transportation, you'll find many available including taxi, colectivos, Uber, airport shuttle, bike rental, car rentals, and tuk-tuks. You can also rent a motorbike if you're planning to motorbike through the country. Colectivos cost as little as $1, but make frequent stops. Uber is also a very convenient way to get from one place to another, and is also quite cheap. But an important thing to know when using Uber, especially at the airport, is they don't vet their drivers as well as they do in the States. So you might get a sketchy ride. Once a car arrives, double check the license, the vehicle, and the driver. If you don't feel comfortable, you can always cancel the pickup. While I didn't have any bad experiences, drivers usually don't follow the route on the app, but rather take back roads and longer routes. Overall, they're fairly safe, but just use caution. My recommendation is to take a taxi to and from the airport. They have a good reputation and they're licensed. Once you've landed, you can take one of the several taxis outside the airport. Taxi drivers will be lined up in front of the gates. Just look for a badge or go to the airport concierge and request a taxi. Taxis to Miraflores is about $21 US. It's about a 45-minute to an hour drive. Uber is about $10 US, which is half the cost of a taxi, but isn't as reputable as taxi drivers. Once you're situated and have all your luggage at your accommodation, I recommend taking Uber thereafter. Lima being an international city, one can find accommodation for most budgets. If it's your first time in Lima, places to look for lodging are Miraflores, Barranco, or San Miguel. Lodging one can find range from couchsurfing, workstays, hostels that range from $10 a night, entire Airbnbs from $30 to $70 a night, as well as hotels and luxurious resorts that start around $400 and up. On this journey, I stayed at the neighborhoods of Miraflores and Barranco. This was Giovanni's place, located in Miraflores, that cost $40 a night. His entire place was clean, furnished, and his communication was excellent. This 2-story condo is located in a quiet neighborhood. The building is gated, with security at the main entrance. The best thing about this condo is the windowed wall, though there isn't much to see outside. Across it is another condo. If you're staying in Miraflores, I recommend checking this place out. Links to lodging in the description below. Exploring the streets of Lima, specifically Miraflores and Barranco, I really like the vibe here. I would go as far as consider living in Miraflores, but that's coming from someone who loves overcast weather, rainfall, and misty mornings. From its stunning coastline and rich cultural heritage, to the vibrant nightlife and delicious cuisine, there's so much to discover in Lima. If you want to ease into your adventure in Peru, wandering around Lima is a great place to start before venturing off in other regions of the country.